Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So we are finally in December and that means it's time for another reading wrap up. So this month I read 8 books and I am going to be sharing with you guys my ratings on these books and my thoughts on them. So this month I honestly did not go off to a great start. I started with A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy and I gave this book 2 stars. I don't know. Nothing about this book, and probably 2 stars, I feel like it's a little generous for how I feel about this book. I did not like this book at all. From the tropes to the way of the writing to how the characters are together, and it's just everything about it just annoyed me. I don't like the whole obsessed with virginity trope, like when a guy is so obsessed with the fact that the girl's a virgin. I just do not like that trope at all. I just feel like it's gross, and just I did not like it. And the fact that he was so fixated on it, even after they got together, he was just like so fixated, like so obsessed with it, and I just like did not like that at all. It really just put me off. So yeah, I did not like that at all. It's just, it really, I feel like it ruined the book for me. The idea of the painting, okay, I liked. So the book is named after a painting in the book. It's called A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, and it's like a painting of like different like lip prints of like lipstick stains and everything. That I like that the story around that one, but other than that I did not like anything in this book. Not the girl, not her parents. The girl was also so annoying. Like she had this like complex that she was better than everybody else just because she was a virgin, and just like calm down. She annoyed me with that, and she was like super judgmental of everyone around her. Even her own friends didn't want to be around her because she was like, she always was judgmental. And you would see in the book that she was talking about like how she didn't know she was like that, but like in like you, when you read her thoughts, she was exactly like that, and it's just like no denying it. So the girl annoyed me, the guy grossed me out, her parents were annoying as hell for me. Just like the whole thing, I did not enjoy this book at all. But I went on to even read the second, the novella that kind of followed this book, which was Birthday Kisses. Also, same thing. I put these together on same rating. I did not enjoy either of them. And I know that there's another, I think it was like either before it. This was like a second book in a series, and I'm not gonna continue reading the series at all. I did not enjoy it at all. Let's just move on. So the next read I had was Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I gave this book 5 stars. I love this book. This is probably my favorite book this entire month. I love this entire series, and I just put out a video, the books I rated 5 stars, and I talked about this series a lot. I love this series so much, and I read the entire series this month. So there are 3 books. So it's Things We Never Got Over, Things We Hide from the Light, and Things We Left Behind. And I have to say the first 2 books are probably my favorite ones. I love the third one, but if I were to like favorite any of them, it would be the first 2 books. I love this series so much. Knox is the guy from the first book, and he is my favorite, and I love him even in the third, like the other books, because like all the characters, they reappear in all the other books, and they're so you get introduced to everybody in the first book, and then you kind of get into the stories as the books go along. So they are a series, but they can be read as standalones, but you do get introduced to the characters in the first book. So you can read them in any order you want, but it will make sense for you to read them in order because you see how the couples came together. But yeah, I love this series so much. I thought it was a very, very cute read, and again, it's a small town romance series, so yeah, I love this one so much. So the next book I read is The Mistake by Elle Kennedy, and that's the second book from the Off-Campus series. This is a very, very popular series on TikTok. I'm always seeing TikToks about like the off-campus, like the male characters, like the team. It's a hockey romance, so there's always like talks about like the boys from the team and everything, and this book is based on John Logan. So the first book was The Graham Effect, and that was based on Graham. Again, standalones, you can read them. I haven't read the first one. I have it in my TBR. I just downloaded it, but I didn't read the first one, and I still understood everything that was happening. So again, like the same with the Knock 'Em Out series, it would make sense for you to read the first one first, so you can like kind of see how the characters are all like the relationships between the characters would make much more sense if you read the first book. So I would recommend reading The Graham Effect first, but again, you can still read this on its own, and I enjoyed this book. I gave this one 4 stars. And the next book I read is Secretly Yours by Tessa Bailey. I finished this book like just a couple of days ago. I gave this book, I have it as 5 stars. I wouldn't say it's 5 stars, actually. It's more of a 4 stars. So it's like a rom-com book. The girl's a gardener. He's a professor, very grumpy sunshine. Like it's a very grumpy sunshine book. He's like her childhood crush. He doesn't like, he sort of remembers her, but like as they got older, he doesn't recognize her. She's very like bubbly and like literally sunshine, like a sunshine character, and he's like all grumpy, and he's very like strict about timing and organization, and like everything he does, he calculates everything he does to the second, while she's like kind of all over the place and like a tornado of a mess and everything. So they're very opposites. So it's a very opposite attract sort of thing. Grumpy sunshine. She's like his mom like hires her to like do their garden and everything, and he's like constantly like watching her and everything, not like a creepy way. He does talk to her, but yeah, so it's like that sort of thing. It was very cute, I would say. Not like one of my favorites, but it's a good read. I would recommend it to anyone who's like looking for like a lighthearted rom-com sort of book. So I would recommend this, but it's not one of my favorites, but it's cute though. And the last book that I read is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher, and it's part of the Lakefront Billionaires series. It's the first book in the series, and I gave this one 5 stars. I love this book so much. So basically it's like childhood rivals, I guess you could say enemies to lovers sort of thing. He falls first. She's like a celebrity interior designer, and he owns like a construction company, I guess you can say. And she comes back home. So it's like a small town romance. She comes back home after like a whole like shitstorm that happened to her back in California, and then he kind of, it's like you see him falling for her and like trying to stay near her, and he would take her on to a project just to like kind of convince her to come back home, to live back home. And their moms are like working them the entire book, trying to get them together, because they're like, no, they belong together and everything. So they're just like trying to push them together constantly. So the entire family is just like trying to push them together. And so yeah, it's a whole like small town romance, like family friends sort of thing. It's childhood rivals to lovers, and it's just so cute. I love this book so much, and I can't wait to read the rest of the series. So that concludes all the books that I read in November. I'm so excited to start reading books for this month, and I am almost done with my reading challenge. I have 3 books left. It says that I'm 2 books ahead of schedule on my Goodreads, so I can't wait to kind of start reading for this month. I'm gonna like set like a minimum of 3 books, and then maybe add 2 books at least to my TBR for this month. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what I will read for this month. And now that I've showed you guys all the books that I read this month, I wanted to do this like thing I've been seeing a lot on YouTube, where people take a TBR jar and they kind of like shuffle around and see what they're gonna read for this month. So I made a little jar of books that I've had in my TBR for quite some time. Some of them new, some of them really old, and I've been wanting to read them, but I haven't just gotten around to it. I would always get distracted by a new book. So here we have some books. So I am going to pick, so I already have one that's already in my current reads, which is King of Greed. So that's one. I want to pick 2 more, that way I'll be done with my challenge for this year. I would have read 50 books for this year, and then I want to read some more because I can read more than 3 books this month. So I wanted to see if I can pick at least 5 books. So we're gonna pick 4 more books. We have 1, we're gonna pick 4 more. So we're gonna see we're gonna get. I'm kind of nervous. This one. Okay, no, so we're gonna see what we're gonna get. Okay, what's this one? The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I can't believe that I haven't read this book yet. It's actually shameful. I've had this book in my TBR for so long. Let's go for a second. For number 3. This one. What's this? Love in the Time of Serial Killers. I had this in my TBR since October, and I was gonna read it in October, but I just kept getting distracted and I never got around to it. So we'll see. This one. Rock Bottom Girl. This is another Lucy Score. I became a fan of Lucy Score's books and I kind of wanted to read more, so I had this and I should try to get around to reading it. So that's book number 4. We have one more. What's this one? Love on the Brain. I feel like this is another one I've had in my TBR for a very long time. So Love on the Brain. So we have 4 books. So there's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Love on the Brain, and Love in the Time of Serial Killers, and finally Rock Bottom Girl. So those and King of Greed are gonna be my books for this month. I really want to try to do reading vlogs. That's like honestly one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube. So I want to try to film reading vlogs, and I will document myself reading these books and my thoughts on them, and just basically see how it goes. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!